Welcome back to another episode of
Welcome to Behind the Mic, the deep dive behind radio theology.
Episode of 2020
Here are your hosts,
for the
Daron
week
Early
of
Wine, Lisa
January
Graff, and Ryan
12th,
Allward.
2020. Guys, I know we say this, I say this all the time, but it's just true. I mean, life is flying by.
Yes.
I know how old I am now because I know how math works barely. And I am having a major. I'm just liking the age. I like what comes with it as far as like wisdom and blah 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 perspective.
Wisdom, blah blah blah. You know,
But there's nothing good about saying you're 42 years old.
Besides the wisdom and the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Besides that,
Right.
but just think about it. Think about how old you guys are, not 42.
Yeah.
And just imagine saying, I'm 42.
Yeah.
All that negative feeling you have, that's what I'm walking through right now.
Oh, is there any way we can help you with
Well,
that?
if I could just get some workout gloves and celery juice, I think that would probably help. What do you think, Randy?
oh
I can
man,
help
it's
that.
working for Lisa.
My gloves are, they're small medium, so I don't know. But they are pink, too, so you're welcome to borrow them.
We did start the show off this week talking about, it's new year, new decade. Lisa's trying to get pumped up.
Yeah.
And the key to that was workout gloves.
Yeah.
You've come to the scary, in your words, the scary side of the gym. Is that what it's called?
Yes, it's the scary side of the gym because at least in LA Fitness, there are three main sections. So you have the upstairs cardio, the safest zone you can be in.
Okay.
Right. It took me a long time to get comfortable in the where all the machines are.
Okay.
Because you look so stupid. You don't look stupid. Let me rephrase. I felt so stupid.
Okay.
Looking at the little man picture on the machine to figure out what muscles this is supposed to be working on.
Okay.
And then doing it. Okay. It took me a while to get comfortable with that.
Okay.
And now, my sister, who is a workout ninja, she said, yeah, what you're doing is fine, but you could be doing this. And I said, I can do it. And then she's like, yeah, so should be these free weights. And I was like, nope. I don't do the free weights because it's on the scary side of the gym where all the big, strong men are. And then sometimes the women are bulky over there. And I'm just like, I'm a loser. I'm going to just go run on the treadmill. And so I went over to the scary side of the gym. And it turns out that when you go over to the scary side, one, it's not that scary. And two, you kind of feel like a BA because you get to put on workout gloves and then you don't get calluses.
Ryan, this feels like a metaphor for life.
Right.
About embracing new challenges in 2020.
Yeah,
Right.
seeing things for what they really are versus what your mind tells you they might be like.
Exactly. The story I'm telling myself in my head about the scary side of the gym was not true. Now, is the story I'm telling myself now that just because I have workout gloves, I'm a total badass? I don't know. Is that true? We'll see.
See, when I played football one year, out of the three that I was on the team, playing football is a totally different term. I bought some receiver gloves.
Yeah.
And I felt immediately cooler. Growing up and
Totally.
playing baseball, little league.
Yeah.
Got a batting glove.
Oh, yeah.
Was it a Rawlings or is it Spalding? What's the brand? You're a baseball.
Well, they all
Either.
have them. The
Yeah.
best brand is probably Franklin.
Franklin.
They're my
It
favorite
was a
batting
Franklin
gloves.
glove. It was
Uh-huh.
just on the. It was just
Yeah.
on my
Yep.
the left hand
Yep.
because I'm a righty. And man, I don't know how my batting average did, but there is something cooler about adding something to
Yeah.
the outfit.
Yes. You're dressing the part.
Well, it's
You're
look good,
dressed-
play good is what I said.
Oh, all right. Now we're
There
getting
you
somewhere.
go.
Look
Yeah.
good, play good.
There
Says
you go.
coach.
Now, here's what happened. I'm so excited. I get to choose the uniforms for my 9U baseball
Oh,
team
man.
this
Oh,
weekend.
boy.
So much
stoked.
pressure. I was looking through them last night. I can't decide.
All black.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Just
We know they will
camo.
be.
No, you can't wear camo. No.
Black, gray, and white camo.
Here's the thing. Here's the tough thing for guys though is
Mm-hmm.
I like workout gloves
okay.
because as you start lifting, as I started lifting more weights over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Sure.
Specifically when you're benching, if you're trying to bench, at least for me, anywhere between 180 to 200 or so pounds, if you're not used to it, it
Yeah.
kind of hurts your hands.
It does.
Yeah.
Totally hurts your hands.
You've been benching 185 pounds?
No.
Oh.
When I grab the tins and do like my little incline row thing,
Yeah. Well,
it still hurts my hands.
so it started hurting my hands, and then it hurts my wrists because you're pushing, you got
Right.
like 100 whatever. So I bought some workout gloves because I like them,
Okay.
especially the wrist wrap because it just makes you feel strong. You're ready to go. You feel like you push so much more weight.
For
You
sure.
just feel in control of the weights. But as a man,
Oh boy.
it's not a problem to have calloused hands because you're tougher.
Yeah.
And then I started just looking around at the other dudes that were also working out
Yeah.
and realizing I don't see a lot of dudes also wearing gloves.
Maybe they're like beige or nude colored
no,
workout gloves.
They weren't.
No,
they weren't. What I realized is that for you can wear the gloves and automatically you're like, I'm a BA, I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I was wearing that and I'm like, I think I'm losing man points for having workout gloves. So they're still in my car and I think about them and I would love to use them.
Oh my gosh.
But the peer pressure for me is like, you can't wear workout gloves.
You can do anything you put your mind to, especially if they're in your car.
you're a 42-year-old man
I challenge you.
who's already married. You have nothing to win. You just need to complete a workout.
With
at that
all
point.
your wisdom.
Yeah, just put them on, dude.
You're making good points. I'm not going to wear the workout gloves. Anyway.
I have calloused fingertips because I'm a guitar player. I don't have the pads.
Well, I have calluses on my hands still from they're almost gone now. I'm kind of sad about it. I've had calluses on my hands since probably 6th, 7th grade from drumming.
Oh.
From where my drumsticks are. And I just
like on the heel of your palm there?
No,
it's
right at the fold of your hand from where you hold the stick.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I have had those my drumming calluses. I just realized they're almost gone because sadly I don't really play drums anymore, which makes
Are there drumming gloves?
There are drumming gloves.
Yeah. And there's a drum kit in your basement too, right?
There is, except my wife made me put it in its cases because we were going to do some work in the basement. And it's sad. I feel like I put it in a grave and buried it.
Oh, man. I wonder how your drums feel about that. They're probably pretty sad.
They
probably
are. They're like, remember when we brought you joy for like 30 years? Now you put us in a case, you jack. No.
Shut up, Tom.
That was funny.
Well played.
So anyway, we're not
Drum
talking
jokes.
about. We're not talking about. I'm sorry, we've gone 6 minutes into this.
Oh, boy.
Young people are
Now
like,
the
you guys
show
have
can
talked
really
about
start.
anything real.
Hey, the scary side of the gym is very real.
This is true.
Why
and
are
it's
you
funny.
scared, though?
Yeah,
You get to walk through. Like, listen, what your best is on the other side of fear. There's your point. There's your spiritual
There's a
turn
spiritual
from the
point.
scary side
Okay.
of the gym.
Yeah.
I do agree
You
with you,
can
though.
do it.
Right.
I have had that feeling before. You know what I mean? This is stupid. I had the feeling one time when I went with my friend to a casino, and if I'm not with somebody that knew how to play blackjack or whatever, I'm like, I'm not going to sit down at a real table and look like a moron unless I'm with somebody that's like, this is how you do this.
Yeah.
So I get it. You know what? But it's a lot of fun playing blackjack, and it's a lot of fun actually lifting real weights.
That's right.
There we go. Here's what we're talking about this week. This is not just that, but we joked around this week a little bit about having a word for the year.
Oh,
Yeah.
You guys are big into this. Really, really into it.
I'm kind of offended that you say I'm big into this. This is like I've done it like 3 times in my entire life.
I don't know. Maybe this time next year I'll have a word.
And
I don't know.
I can't remember.
There is a word for you that I can't say right now.
Ryan's an Enneagram 3.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the term is, but when an Enneagram 3, when they're feeling a little bit on their downside of their personality, they become critical and negative.
Cantankerous?
That's the word.
Whoa! That's
I
a
think
great word.
Ryan's feeling a little cantankerous on his.
Yeah.
I can't even
Put that on
pronounce
your
it.
put that on your key necklace.
I just might. Don't tempt me.
No, Ryan
you
said
buy for $50
on the show. Ryan said he thought that maybe the word of the day, word of the year kind of thing was a little fatty.
Yeah, not fatty TTY, but DDY. It just seems and again, this is just outside looking in. I've never done it. Maybe if I go into that pool, I will love swimming in it. But right now, I'm just like, how do you get one? Why are you looking for one? What do you do with it?
Oh my gosh, all good questions.
I know.
I believe we can answer.
I agree, and I'm with you. I'm trying to think of the last time I had like a word. I do know this. Back when I was leading a church plant when I was in my 20s, it's called the Crux, is I would pray for weeks leading up to the end of the year and try to have a word for our church. Like, this is the vision around what we're doing. Sure. And I would try to find one for myself, too. And I'm kind of just remembering right now that I actually used to do this. This is probably being 42. You've got so many decades. You're like, I'm just losing stuff here.
2 decades of dust to blow off. Wow.
I loved it because it brought so much focus, and I really genuinely, like we say this on the show all the time, right? We really do believe that God is for you, not against you, that he's got a plan for your life, and that God he is alive. We believe that Jesus is the one true living God, and that he wants to speak to you every day in everyday type of ways. So I think any amount of focus you bring into saying, God, I'm listening, I'm curious, I want you to guide and direct me, he shows up in those things.
Yeah.
And I look back on when I would do that, and I thought, you know what? I really enjoyed the focus that brought, and I'm somebody who needs focus. And so I haven't done one for a while. I think some way Ryan may be thinking it was dumb, even though my wife has been doing the giving key thing.
Hold on. I did not say it's dumb. I'm just saying it just seems a little fat. I hear a lot of people
doing
it.
Right. But you yourself, like, you just convinced me to get the Michael Hyatt Focus Journal.
Yeah.
Right.
And as you said focus, I was like, maybe that could be in the ballpark of words to choose from. See,
but
was
it the Lord speaking to you? Was he impressing it upon your heart?
I'm totally open. I just don't know. Like, you guys both came back. It's like, I got my words. And I'm like, I don't know.
Okay. I think you forgot to pray about it. It's another subject, but now you get to decide between cantankerous and focus.
Did Dave, let's just, hold on. Let's go to the Bible.
Okay.
It's a spiritual show.
Yes.
We're all believers in
Yes.
Lord Yeshua. Did prophets usually got messages to deliver?
Yeah.
But did is there anything in Scripture where David was like, I got a word? I mean, he had his, after Bathsheba and all that, the prophet came to him and was like, the baby's going to die. God wasn't happy.
Well, I mean, any time a prophet is speaking, they were speaking with these, thus saith the Lord. These are the words of the Lord. And you got the entire
the words.
Yes. Well, the entire New Testament, right, is inspired by the Holy Spirit
the
speaking
living word
to people.
All right. I'm getting warmer.
Right. So I agree it could be faddish, and I've seen it, and I can be like, blah, whatever.
Yeah.
But the reason I jumped into the deep end of the pool this year for the word was literally jealousy.
Yeah.
Like our friend Coop, last year his word is trust. And over the year, God leads him to go back into a career within, church ministry with worship stuff that he'd been fighting forever. He gets remarried. He has all these moments where it's like God was saying, hey, this is where we're going this year.
Yep.
And even my wife, I bought her the freaking giving key for the past couple of years with her word on it.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing it apply so much. And I have been feeling lately dude, I got a lot of stuff I'm leading and I'm getting older and I don't want to waste any more time. I've got to bring some more focus. And I'm jealous of other people looking for, I'm expectantly looking for God to show up in this way and seeing it actually happen. So that's what motivated me to ask God for a word for
So what was your process? When did you ask? I get the lead up to you asking.
Mine was thinking about it towards the end of the year. Then thinking about Coop's deal.
Okay.
And then thinking, I kind of want that. And then honestly, what pushed me over the edge, Lisa, was your story.
Yeah.
Of God giving you a word, of you taking, significant time to say, God, I need you to really speak. I need some stuff from you in the month of December. And then God showing up in a big way. And after that happened, I was like, you know what? I could use some more of that.
Okay.
Share some of that. Will you share some of that with us, Lisa?
Oh gosh, yeah. So I took 2 full weeks. I thought it was going to be the whole month of December in my mind, and you can't do a whole month of December in your basement. But I had 2 full weeks where I just tried to be still. So I did some hard emotional work, lots of days, and I would literally go down into my basement because it felt like going to the basement of hell, to sit there and wrestle with some of the demons from the past. And invite God in and say, tell me what's true. Tell me what's true. Tell me what's true. And so that was really painful. But then the other moments that I had during the day was rest or productive rest. And so, but always in this worship space. And so I just kept praying, I need something from you, God. And he showed up so many times. And I have a really good, clear relationship with the Holy Spirit. Which a lot of people who don't have that it's hard to understand. So please don't think I'm crazy, but I hope someday that you get to experience this. But I just kept hearing him guide my words as I was writing and comfort me when I was sad and would send a friend in and a word from people and a song and all of these ways that he was like, I'm here, which was my biggest fear in taking this time off was he's not even going to show up. This is going to be a total waste. And then when he kept showing up, I was like, this is amazing. But then I still felt the stirring of the Spirit. There's something missing. There's something else he has for me. And so I just said, God, I need a word from you. And what I meant was, I was thinking a sentence, a sentence to grab onto or whatever. I didn't mean one actual word. But in the humor and wonderfulness of God, I was cleaning out the playroom, so it was one of my days after a really hard emotional day, And I was just like, I was singing at the top of my lungs. That's the best way I connect to God is through worship. And so I'm just having the time of my life in the playground. The worship music's blaring, and I'm just sorting toys. And nothing is really happening. And I just let my mind be still and free. And then God brought to mind Coop. And I was like, Coop had a word. Man, he killed it. And I know how hard that was for him to live that word. Yeah. So it wasn't like he got a word and then he got to like slide down the slide of the year and then ta-da, he made it to the bottom in the ball pit and we're all having a great time.
Yeah.
It was hard for him. And I was so inspired by that. I was like, I wonder what my word would be. And I'm like, I'm not doing a word. It's so stupid. But I'm like, but Coop does it? I don't know. And then let my mind go again. And then the Holy Spirit said, listen. And I was like, oh, here it comes. He give me my word. Sorry, that was really dorky.
No, I loved it.
And so he said, no, your word is listen. And I was like, oh, okay. I know I asked you to come give me the word. This was a funny little thing that you just did. But no, I'm a speaker. I'm on the radio. I'm building platforms, plural.
Yeah.
Like to tell people things that you tell me. So we got this listening thing down. Let's move on. Come back to me with your next best thing. And then that night I talked to a friend who, when she prays for me, her prayers come true for me. It's just this unbelievable, gifted relationship. And I said, I want a word from the Lord, totally dismissing, listen, I want a word from the Lord and I need it to be tangible and I don't know what it means and I'm going crazy. I feel crazy asking this. And she's like, consider it done. And I'm like, okay. So she journals that exact thing. 1, help her not feel crazy. But 2, give her a word and make it tangible. Next morning, I go to counseling. At the end of the counseling session, the counselor is like, here, I think I've got something for you. And she hands me a bag of stones. And she's like, they're all different. There's all these different words on them. And, if one speaks to you, I want you to have it. And I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, this is new agey. Like, I thought you were Christian. Like, it was this whole weird thing. I had all the things in my head I was thinking. And the first stone said, listen on it. And I was like, okay. Okay, I'll listen.
Yeah, like how tangible can it be? Here's an actual freaking rock.
It's on a
with
rock.
The word
Just
on
call me Moses, right? Like, hello, I got it on a tablet, right? And I carry it around with me because, like, this was God not only answering a prayer from a desperate and seemingly crazy woman, but like answered the tangible part of it so that he would be able to show me how much he loves me. Like, he's not going to leave me alone in anything. But when I feel so desperate and I'm asking so earnestly, like, he's going to give exactly what I need. And he did. And so my word is listen. And I'm like, oh my gosh, totally freaked out by it, overjoyed with it, don't know what to do with it. But that's my word.
Well, what I love about it is I think there's two sides of it, and we've been joking about Ryan being like, it's just fatty, whatever. But the thing that
don't
I think
sound like that, do I?
A little bit. I mean, but is it like you said about Coop? It wasn't like he felt like God was saying, "Hey, this is going to be a year of trust," and it wasn't like that meant like ta-da, done. Just wait around and it's easy.
Yeah. For
you, it's like what God is saying is listen, but then there's a part of fear of like, well, what are you going to say?
Right.
So as I have been praying about it, the word I think God has given me, well, I'm just saying it, is worthy. And when I first thought, I'm like, that's like weird. I don't even get it. And as I begin to ask a little bit more, I'm like, can you unpack this a little bit more? He has, slowly begun to show me that I think for me, a part of where I'm getting stuck in really developing strength, character, faith, some of the stuff I need to go next level on. I think what God is saying is, hey, I'm whittling this down to this is actually really deep in your core is a sense of unworthiness that we've got to deal with, right? Well, for me, the process then I'm asking God, so now what's the process of unpacking this? And Ryan, I think this comes in to what we're talking about is about this the focus journal that you're doing where I think I'm going to get one too.
Yeah,
is you don't have a word per se on a key for the year,
right?
But you are getting prepared. I'm segueing back into the rest of our show, right? Is that I think there's a plan for your life this year, Lisa, where God's saying, I need you to listen. For me, it's this idea of understanding worthiness. Ryan, you don't have a word, but what you're saying is, in the quote we used that I got from Erwin when we were out in L.A. this week was, right, you can't plan for the life God has for you. God controls that, okay? But you can prepare yourself for it. And a lot of that has to do with focus, has to do with character development, so that you're ready to actually move into the opportunities that he brings. I was thinking about this, like, how many opportunities God has brought into our lives, that things that we could not have planned for them. They just literally happened.
This show.
Yeah.
Right.
But we were prepared for the opportunity when it came.
Right. And we were enthused by it when it came our way.
And I think that's not a magic trick. Like the work that you're doing, and talk about it a little bit, Ryan, about some of the focus you're bringing to actually pursuing the plans, to actually pursuing the goals, like to tracking what you're doing. Like there's a process to this. It's not just like get a word from God and it's a magic trick.
Yeah. I think 2019 was a lot of, I've kind of heard myself use a handful of different metaphors, but it was like kind of clearing some brush, and like just getting some space that could become fertile ground for some different areas of growth that I felt like God really wanted to do within me personally, within like the vocation that I feel like he's got designed for me and for our family. And and so going into 2020, like there was also something that happened in like late November, like right before Thanksgiving. We talked about it. You guys know this, but I was put on a weird allergy diet thing that I'm not allergic to food necessarily, but this thing in my gut like freaks out when I eat certain foods, and then I get all stuffed up, and I'm trying to breathe better because I'm realizing like everything that I'm doing professionally, this show, the podcast, singing, writing music, performing voiceover work, blah, 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 like it all revolves around my throat working the way that I need it to provide for my family. And so I was talking with someone actually at the gym the other day about like, man, new year, like got some New Year's resolutions and some goals. And I'm like, that's awesome. And I'm like, wow, God really gave me a cool opportunity to kind of get in that mindset, because I think he knows me. He knows my flaws too, that I don't really want to admit, that like, I'm not good with discipline. I'm not really that good with stick-to-itiveness. I kind of blame it on the creative artistic brain, but I've actually learned to enjoy aspects of at the end of my day, reflecting, planning ahead, like what is this week's like top 3 big things that I'm trying to be part of and get done. And there's a cool thing you mentioned, the planner has helped me a lot, and this is not a plug for the planner, but an author that I've really listened to a lot, he's also a 3 on the Enneagram, which maybe that's why I like him, I don't know. His name's Michael Hyatt, and I read a couple books of his. One is Your Best Year Ever, and the other was Free to Focus. And then he did a great job of running me through his marketing funnel, because like at the end of it, it was like, buy this planner, it'll change your life. I'm like, take all my money. But it's been, for me at least, it's been a good daily exercise that I don't think otherwise I would have done, or I would have tried to create, and then it would have probably failed, and I would have gotten, I would have beaten myself up for failing on it. And so for me, it's a good system and a good tool, but and I'm not knocking the faddiness. I think it's the key necklace with the word.
Yeah.
And I think like people like telling each other like, this is my key. I'm like, why do you have to have a key? Like what? I don't get it. I guarantee next year I'll be wearing like 3 keys. I'll be like, this is how I chose my word.
Just wait till the giving keys get you in their marketing funnel.
What do they do?
The giving key it's cool. So they have these old keys, and
from what?
I don't know. Now I think they've sold so many of them, they've probably run out of old keys.
They're new keys.
Now
they
they're
make
new keys.
look old.
They make look old. You get a word. You can choose one of theirs, or you can put your own on it.
Okay.
And the idea is, you wear it as as a necklace,
as a reminder. Yep.
As a reminder, and the goal is that you wear it until you meet somebody that might need that word in their life, and then you give it to them.
I like that element of that.
Julie
That's
had
cool.
one.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a couple years ago, Julie's was peace. And one of our friends was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Okay.
And in this conversation with this woman, Julie was like, she needs your key. And she gave the woman the key, and it was meaningful.
Got it.
Here's the thing. Here's what I think we want to walk away from, okay, is one of our core beliefs on radio theology is to understand that God has created you on purpose and for a purpose. That's why we do this podcast, that's why we do this show, that's why we have the Spiritual DNA online course and workshop. We'd love for you to go check out at spiritualdna.me. The underpinning of that is that your life matters, okay? Because God has created you in his image and he has a purpose for you. And you don't usually accidentally stumble into the life God has created for you.
Right.
Like the Dallas Willard says that grace, right, like salvation from God, grace is against earning. You cannot earn God's plan for your life. You can't earn God's love for your life. You can't earn God's grace. It's a free gift. But it's not against effort. And I think sometimes we get those confused, is that, no, you can't earn God's favor, but you can bring effort to, it does take effort to walk into the fullness of what God has for you.
Mm-hmm.
So coming into 2020, you've got a new decade. Coming into 2020, you've got a new year. Here is what we can promise you, that God has a plan for your life. How you walk into that, there's a lot of freedom in that.
Yeah.
If you want a word from God, here's the cool part. The more you lean into and ask God to communicate to you, he's going to. It doesn't have to take 2 weeks in your basement. It could be on a walk. It could be a song. It could be an Instagram post. It could be a devotion. But if you're not asking and paying attention, you're probably going to miss it. Once you get some kind of direction, you're not going to just willy-nilly find yourself into it, because it takes hard work and focus and direction. Do you need a focus planner? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But we want to encourage you is to begin taking some actual tangible steps to prepare yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Ryan, you couldn't have the gigs you have if you weren't prepared with your talents, playing guitar, singing, songwriting. Like, these things you've had to do. Lisa, for you, your strengths in speaking and writing, and like you need to grow and prepare yourself for what God's going to bring into your life. He doesn't often use completely, stagnant objects. God really loves inertia, and he tends to work with that. And so we don't know what that looks like for you. What we hope this encourages you, or at least gets you curious, is if you don't know yet and you're not preparing yourself, we want to inspire you, motivate you, get you curious to go, is there actually something I need to discover and walk into in my life? Because we believe there is. And the cool part is this. One of the things our world needs most, we didn't get into it much this week because our show's not a super deep show on the radio, but the world is a little bit in a bonkers situation right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of has been. Honestly, though, our world has been in chaos since the fall. This isn't anything new.
Yeah.
We get to pay attention to it a lot better because we have social media and global news 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right?
Yeah.
Like 100 years ago, we wouldn't know that Australia was on fire because we're not in Australia. Now we can see it, watch it, and have our hearts break about it, okay? But the world needs you to be who God's created you to be, because when you walk in God's calling and in purpose for your life, you actually show up in situations and actually manifest the heart and the love and the character of God. You bring heaven to earth in a way, and that is what's at stake for you missing out on your purpose in life. Not just the purpose and peace and the great things you get from it, but from how God shows up through your life in each thing. And so that's what we want to inspire you to make. Maybe it's a word, maybe it's a key, maybe it's a focus journal, but I want to say it needs to be something.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. And the other thing I would add, as you talk about the effort, is also just the relationship that brings with God, because it's this constant dependency on, like, okay, if you want me to listen, first that implies that you are going to speak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then how do I best listen? Are there tools that I can learn how to listen better? Like, and keep asking. So it's not going to be an ask, oh, thanks for the word, bye.
Right.
It's this continual relationship, which is why he created us in the first place, to have a relationship with him. So that would be my other encouragement, is just lean into this really, really good Father who just wants to give you all the gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And listen, we'd love to help you. We say this every episode here. We'd love for you to reach out to us so we can know how to pray for you. Our team will pray for you. So maybe we can answer questions you may have of the stuff we talk about. You can reach out to us through radiotheology.com, or you can email any of us, Ryan, Lisa, or Daron, at blackbirdmission.com. We would love to hear from you. We'd love to pray for you and help you on this journey. Thanks for listening to this episode of Behind the Mic, our first episode of 2020. We're stoked to have you along for the journey. We'll talk to you next time right here, Behind the Mic.
Thanks for listening to Behind the Mic. For more episodes, go to radiotheology.com.